What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video, and today we're gonna be getting to another interesting video topic. Now today, this is the long-awaited video. I probably could have dropped this yesterday for you guys, but I got a little tidied up. So Browns versus the Baltimore Ravens, the marquee matchup of the North. This is the biggest game of the season. This is probably the biggest game Deshaun has had as a Brown. You got a 5-3 Browns team versus a 7-2 Baltimore Ravens team. The winner of this game, the Browns will be a half a game behind Baltimore. But the good thing about winning this game, if the Browns do win this game, that puts them in good stride to try to win this division, and they split them on the season. Now, looking at it since 2020, I think the Browns and the Ravens are a perfect 4-4. They split about every year, but the 2020 year, the Browns have had a lot of, just looking back in history, they have had a lot of close games in Baltimore. That they had that Nick Chubb 88-yard run, and then I remember they had the 4-turnover game from Lamar Jackson, and then they also had the Amari Cooper offensive PI game. Every game against Baltimore, when the Browns have had their starting quarterback, has been relatively close. They played last year, and the Browns pretty much down there won that game. But then the controversial offensive pass interference call got called and called that back, that touchdown back, that would have essentially won that game. And then the Browns played at Cleveland with Deshaun Watson, but without Lamar Jackson. And the Cleveland Browns went in and won that football game with Deshaun Watson playing against that defense that was top rated then. He beat that defense, had a pretty good, decent game. Now, when we look into it and we see how things are constructed to go now, this is the Baltimore Ravens, who leads the league in opponent points per game, only giving up about 13 points a game, versus the Browns team that's third, only giving up about 17 points a game. So everything about this game says it's going to be under 30 points if you're just going off of the defensive metrics alone. These are two great defenses. You got the Baltimore Ravens playing as a top 5 defense, the Cleveland Browns playing at a top 3 defense. So these are two great defenses, and it's going to come down to a defensive battle, of course. But the biggest thing here, let's look at the injuries. The Browns are without their 2 tackles. Dawand Jones has been officially ruled out. No Jedrick Wills, he's been ruled out. He's on IR. So James Hudson, and I don't know who's going to start at left tackle. But the Browns still got a good interior offensive line. Joel Antonio, Ethan Poshik, Wyatt Taylor, they're still there. The good thing about the Baltimore Ravens in this matchup for the Browns is they don't have extremely good defensive line play. So, not defensive line play, but edges. So, Jadeveon Clowney is about their best edge. We'll see what we can do as far as with Jadeveon Clowney. Now, he's probably getting a lot of pressures, but he's still having one of his better years. Now, I don't think Jadeveon Clowney is somebody you should lose sleep over at all, though. He is Jadeveon Clowney. I mean, he's been in our camp, and we kind of know what he is and who he is. What I will say, though, is that this Cleveland Browns team has to be prepared for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson made some unbelievable throws in Cleveland when the Browns lost to the Baltimore Ravens. It's hard for me to kind of take that game with a grain of salt because, they gave up 2 early touchdowns off of interceptions. They was down 14-zip really quickly. No Deshaun Watson DTR playing terrible. Unexpected to play. It was just a bad game plan, and they wasn't ready for that at all. Coming into that type of AFC North environment was really difficult on him. So I don't really take that game with a grain of salt. I think this is going to be a close AFC North type of game. I'm going to say like a 17-20, 23-20 type of game. Whoever team wins, I don't think they win by more than 7 points. If you wanted to take a betting odds, I would definitely take Browns +8 for sure. That, like, you can do a little alternate spread. I think the Browns will win by at least the Browns will at least cover regardless of who wins this game. And I do think that this is going to be a game that comes down to two things. That first thing is going to be coaching. Kevin Stefanski versus John Harbaugh. Now, why does coaching matter? Coaching is very key. These are two very physical football teams with two very good defenses. Todd Monken, Kevin Stefanski, Alex Van Pelt, the Harbaugh, and Jim Schwartz. That's what this game is going to come down to. More not Alex Van Pelt, but more John Harbaugh and Todd Monken and Kevin Stefanski and Jim Schwartz. What can Jim Schwartz do to make Lamar Jackson uncomfortable? Lamar has fumbled in damn near every football game he's played. I think winning a turnover battle and getting turnovers should be very key for this defense. I do think that this Browns team, despite having a lot of turnovers, I don't think that there'll be too many turnover-worthy plays from Deshaun Watson. Looking back to all the way to Tennessee game, he's kept care of the football really well outside of that interception he threw against the Colts when he wasn't healthy. But he's kept really good care of the football. Now he has some fumbling issues. And we have yet to see Deshaun play like a really good road game. He had a decent game against the Bengals last year and a decent game against, he had a good game against the Commanders. But he haven't played like a hostile AFC North game good yet. He had a chance to do that against Pittsburgh. And that game just went terrible from the jump for the entire team. So looking back at it, this is really Deshaun Watson's game to win. I hate to put the pressure and the blame, not the pressure on him, but it really is his game to win. Jim Schwartz had his signature win against the Cardinals. Kevin Stefanski had his signature win against the 49ers. I think this is Deshaun Watson, and then Myles Garrett had his signature win against the Colts. And I think this defense overall, the corners had their signature win against the Bengals. This is going to be the game where quarterback Deshaun Watson has to answer the call. It's going to take a good QB performance for the Browns to win this game. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Which defense can give the quarterback the most problems? Lamar Jackson versus this Browns defense, or the Baltimore Ravens versus Deshaun Watson? Now, both quarterbacks have had success against these defenses. Lamar would beating the Browns currently, but you got to take into the fact that they had a lot of short fields, and Deshaun Watson did beat Baltimore with no Lamar, of course. Kind of two similar situations last year when he wasn't playing his best of football. Those are two things to really keep in mind. Now, I don't think Deshaun will throw for like 300 or nothing crazy like that, but a thing to keep in mind is Marlon Humphrey. He did hurt his hamstring Thursday in practice. He is questionable for the game. Him hurting his hamstring is something to monitor. With them playing against the Browns and against the Bengals, I do think that that's going to be, in hindsight, something they look at. I wonder if they'll sit him or if he'll play, and what if he re-aggravates it, now he's out against the Bengals. And you know who's coming to town when the Bengals are playing? Jamar Chase. So they do need him more for Jamar Chase than they need him for Amari Cooper. So I wonder if he plays this game. Him pulling his helmet this late into the week is really dangerous for him, missing this game. And that's something to look after. I think Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson has to have a big game for this Cleveland Browns team to win. I think him, Njoku, and Coop, and I think the running of football has to be there. Now, another thing to pay in mind and keep a lot of paying attention to is how the Browns protect Deshaun, but also how Deshaun protects himself. Baltimore is going to disguise a lot of blitzes and they're going to try to get after the quarterback. And it's going to be up to Deshaun Watson, a veteran QB, to be smart and maneuver through those issues that the offensive line may have. This is going to be a very good football game. Very good football game. I think Lamar Jackson will have probably about 50, 60 rushing yards. I don't think he's going to throw for 225 on that defense, though. I think this is the game where Mark Emerson and Denzel Ward enforces their will on those corners. They don't have a good wide receivers. They don't have a good wide receiver group, in my opinion. And you got a guy like JOK, and you got a guy like Grant Delpit. That secondary These 5 guys, these 6 guys, is going to be the reason that I'm going to pick the Browns to beat this Baltimore Ravens team. And these are all 6 defensive guys. Martin Emerson, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome. It's probably 7, actually. Myles Garrett, Grant Delpit, and J.O.K. Them 3 guys are going to be key importance. You got Martin Emerson and Denzel Ward. They got to shut down that wide receiver room. Greg Newsome got to take care of that slot. Somebody got to get hands on Mark Andrews. And then if that defensive line could get pressure on Lamar Jackson, they could create a lot of issues for this Baltimore Ravens offense. On the other side of football, if Deshaun Watson can process the blitz and can process the defense and be able to know where to put the football at and can take and get big chunk plays, that's going to be the key for that offense to win this game. We can't afford to lose the turnover battle this week. We can't. It's got to be a clean football game, and we got to hope the defense enforces a pick. Playing with that Todd Monken system, the quarterback does throw a lot of interceptions in there. I wouldn't be surprised if Lamar threw a pick. If Deshaun Watson can keep this game clean while Lamar throwing a pick, maybe a fumble, that can really make things go the Browns' way. So I'm going to pick the Browns to win this football game. I do think that will happen. I think the Browns defense will show up and do enough. And I think this is going to be a close enough game where Deshaun Watson gets a drive or 2 there. He has yet to really get he had one drive against Pittsburgh that was like, I don't know, we're not going to talk about that. But he has yet to really get like a game-winning drive with the Browns. So I think this is going to be his time to answer the bell and get a game-winning drive and go out there and put the Baltimore Ravens away. And it's going to be up to the defense to stop Lamar from answering that game-winning drive from Deshaun. But I do think the Browns going to win. I'm going to pick the Browns to win 20-23. 20-23 Browns. That's going to be my prediction. I'm going to stick to that. You guys comment down below y'all predictions, how y'all feel about this game, man. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know how y'all thinking, and we're going to go from there. It's been your boy, Will. I'm trying to think if I'm going to drop another video before this game come out. I may or may not drop another video on Myles Garrett and the defense and what they could do to give the Baltimore Ravens some issues. Another thing before I hang off on this video is Za'Darius Smith, Dalvin Tomlinson, and that defensive line gonna have to get home because they gonna triple team Myles Garrett. Ronnie Stanley, I think that's their tackle name. He's been playing terrible. Za'Darius Smith got to get after him. So we're gonna see how this team looks. I'm gonna pick the Browns to win 23-20. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 22-25 or something weird like that. But I do think it's going to be more than 38 points put up. I would take the over on this game. That's just my 2 cents on it. You guys comment down below, but it's going to come down to quarterback play. It's going to be Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski versus John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson. So you guys put your picks down below. It's your boy Will, man. I'm out. Peace.